Hey, what's up, YouTube? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Troy. I'm a former fat guy sharing my body transformation story with the hope that it might help someone else. If it helps one person, it was worth it. What I ask is if you support me in this, take a second to smash that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it means the world to me. So, in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about emotional eating. And if you're struggling to lose body fat, it's very possible that this is happening. And we're going to talk about what it is, why we do it sometimes, and we'll talk about how to overcome it. Because I know on my journey, there are times in particular when I find myself over-consuming all the wrong things. And so what I find for me is that if I notice the times when I'm vulnerable to this occurring, and if I really take a look at why I'm doing what I'm doing, it just makes it a little bit easier for me to set myself up for success as opposed to being stuck in this cycle of just eating the thing, binging on it, and feeling bad about myself for what I did. And it's a vicious cycle. So I want to help break you out of that cycle in this video. So let's do it. Emotional eating. First of all, I'd love to hear your thoughts on addiction. And if you feel like maybe food can become an addiction. And so what I mean by that, I looked up the definition of addiction, right? And I have friends who are in the coaching space helping people with addiction. And so something that they call addiction is what's called a substance use disorder. And the definition of this is a compulsive, out of control use despite negative consequences. And the negative consequence in our case is it's keeping us fat and preventing us from reaching our body transformation goals. And it's compulsive, right? We're doing it all the time. And it's out of control. We're over consuming, right? It's like the floodgates open and wow, we eat the whole sleeve of Oreos or the whole bag of chips or whatever it is. So, it's like, what's going on here? Well, we're eating for relief. The drug addict does the drug for relief, right? From whatever it is that they're running from, their life. Their life sucks. They're in pain. They're trying to regulate their emotions, how they feel. And so I think what can happen with us, right? I know that this can happen with me, is when I'm unhappy, when I'm tired, when I'm run down, I can lean into food for relief from that feeling. And that, my friends, is emotional eating. You're eating to fill a void. And it becomes problematic. So the idea is, and I invite you to take a look at this. So like for me in particular, at the end of the day is when I notice that I'm very vulnerable to over-consuming. And also, I feel like my willpower is just less at that point, right? Because I think that, to get through the day, to get yourself up when the alarm goes off and to get to work and to hold it together while you're at work. And it takes a lot of willpower to do all of those things. And so by the end of the day, your willpower, it might be depleted. At least I find that mine is sometimes. And I notice that I'm particularly vulnerable around those times. Some people, it's at work. They have that kind of like mid-meeting snack meltdown thing. There's, catered food or whatever. There's these food options that are available that are not supportive. And the person just kind of ends up going in and over-consuming. And, maybe even like, have you ever noticed on the weekends, sometimes you feel like rewarding yourself, like, oh, I made it to the weekend. And it's like, wow. And then I notice that I'm over consuming all the wrong kinds of things, right? And finally, like closet eating. If you find yourself with the mindset of kind of like self-sabotaging when no one else sees as if it didn't happen, all of these instances can really just be classified or summed up as emotional eating. So if you notice that those types of things are happening for you, then I have bad news and good news. The bad news is that you're emotional eating, my friend. But the good news is that there's some things that you can do about it. And so really what you want to recognize is that at the end of the day, it's really, emotional eating is really not about food. And so what we're doing is we're looking for relief, and we're trying to regulate, and we need a break from holding it all together. And so that's why it's happening. And if we can just understand that that's why we're doing it, then we can develop a workaround. We can develop a replacement behavior. So I think a really good first step would be to identify the trigger. Identify the thing that makes you want to eat the thing that's not supportive. I know that you're not an idiot. You're a smart person and you've done your research. And so I commend you on that. You know the types of things that are supportive. So why are you eating the bag of chips, the sleeve of Oreos, the tub of ice cream or whatever it is? And why are you doing this all the time? Well, because there may be some type of trigger, right, that is causing you to want to relieve those sorts of negative feelings. Identify the trigger so that you know, hey, when I'm dealing with this sort of thing, I'm going to want to lean into the food item that's not supportive to sort of combat the effects of this. And you need to develop a replacement. Know your boundaries, know when they're being crossed, so you can identify the times when you're vulnerable. We can't have the pint of ice cream be your default setting that you go to every single time that trigger comes up. Because if the trigger is something like work, that's going to happen every day, then guess what? You're going to be in a bad spot, my friend. And so you got to find a way to regulate other than food. And it helps to know what those triggers are, because the times that you're vulnerable, when you're triggered, you're vulnerable, you really need to pay attention. That's mindfulness. Next, try to learn to regulate stress without food. So there's got to be a calorie-free option that you can deal with some of those stressful emotions that come up, right? And so like you could bang your head on a tree. But I wonder if maybe there's something that's a little bit more supportive, right? Like how about a sauna, or how about a workout? How about going for a walk? How about connecting with nature? There's got to be something. There's got to be a calorie-free option that you can lean into other than food. Also, consider rebuilding your relationship with hunger. So hunger doesn't have to be bad. It's really up to you how you look at it. And what I find to be very helpful for me, if I'm trying to lose a little body fat, is I need to be able to sit with the feeling of hunger a little bit and maybe even appreciate it a little bit, right? Like, yeah, I'm hungry right now and I'm noticing that, but I'm not immediately reacting to it. And that hunger signal can be a good thing, right? That can be my metabolism running. That could be my body running, functioning optimally. The times when I'm not hungry are the times that something is wrong with me. If I'm not hungry, something is wrong with me. So I think that sometimes people have real difficulty in managing that hunger feeling. Hunger is a feeling. And we don't need to try to immediately treat that feeling with food. We can recognize it and we can tell ourselves, okay, I'm noticing that I'm hungry right now. Let me sit with this feeling for a little bit and enjoy it. And we're blessed to be probably we had the unique experience of having too much availability in terms of food. So we can let go of that scarcity mindset around food. You'll feed your body when you're ready, right? Following the plan, whatever kind of plan you're on. You're not just going to react impulsively to that hunger feeling. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry, so I got to hit the vending machine. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry, so I better go to the gas station and just like eat this thing. Something is better than nothing. Oh, I'm hungry. I got to immediately treat that. No, it's crazy. If you find yourself doing that, and I see so many people doing that, and if you're doing that and you're trying to lose body fat and that's how you're acting, I need you to take a breath, because you're never going to get there if that's what you're doing, because you're just a slave to your impulses and you're not in control if that's what's going on. So learn to sit with hunger. It's good. It's your friend. And finally, don't punish yourself with the hunger. Don't punish yourself with the stuff that you're eating. Eat for performance, not punishment. Again, we're blessed to have access to just such a wide array of food items and just so much. There's an abundance. And so with that, eat stuff that you like, right? There's plenty of really good whole food options that are supportive of your goals out there. Experiment, find what works for you. And why would you eat something that you don't like to torture yourself? Why would you deprive yourself and starve yourself? It shouldn't be a punishment. It should be a celebration. You're so fortunate to be eating whatever it is that you have that gosh, I really want you to enjoy the experience, and maybe there could even be some gratitude there. And it really should not, at the end of the day, feel like a punishment, because that's not what it's about. So I feel like when you try to over-restrict, there is a backlash effect that can occur. And particularly in terms of emotional eating, the story that you tell yourself is so powerful. So try to construct a supportive story in a way that feels right for you. Now, the thing you want to take away from this video is that emotional eating is not about food. It's about unmet needs, and it's almost like an addiction. You're doing this thing that you know isn't supportive, but you can't stop yourself from doing it, and it's holding you back. And you can overcome it, guys. The more that food becomes your emotional outlet, the more you disconnect. So consider the importance of off-the-plate nutrition. Find something that nourishes you, that nourishes your spirit, that makes you feel good, that maybe helps you feel a little bit better when you feel like crap because your life sucks and your job sucks. And so don't add insult to injury by leaning into food as a way to combat those negative feelings from your life. Go out and bang your head against the tree. It'll be better for your fat loss journey. Thanks for watching the video. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.